My name is Sarah Donn, and I teach second grade at Willagillespie Elementary School in Eugene, Oregon. And we started moving online back in March. That's when the pandemic hit home for us. It was 2 weeks before spring break. And at the time, we started to see things in the news, and I remember staying after school and talking with my colleagues about it. And we were asking each other, do you think that it would affect us in any way? And do you think that it would close schools? And everybody thought that was a crazy, far-fetched idea and it would never happen. And I think it was just maybe 2 days later, that very next week, that they shut us down. So we started just having an extended spring break. We went on break a week early. And then as it became apparent that this wasn't going to be going away anytime soon, they started to have us move to doing distance learning. And in the beginning, it really was just about getting technology out to the students. And teachers, our job was to do a lot of phone calls and making family check-ins to make sure families were doing okay and had what they needed. And then once we got up and going, we used Zoom and Seesaw to do most of our communication with students. But at that time in the spring, it really was just emergency mode. So there wasn't a lot of learning happening. It was mostly just checking in with families. We weren't allowed to teach anything new. The only thing we could do was review skills that the kids had already learned throughout the year because of equity issues. Not everybody had what they needed and things like that. And there wasn't a lot that we could do to really keep kids accountable for doing assignments, and we weren't allowed to do any grading or anything like that. And there was a lot of disappointment in the community over the distance learning because they felt their students weren't being challenged enough, or being held accountable for things and things like that. So there's been a big push now from where we were. And so coming back in the fall, there was still a lot of uncertainty about what school was going to look like. Spent most of the summer really not having any idea whether we were going to be in person or online or some type of a hybrid. And then it was very last minute. So we were kind of scrambling at the end there to figure out what we were going to be doing that first week back for teachers. And then it was decided that all grades would be online full-time. And so we had a lot of professional development with technology things. A lot of teachers, have never used any of the things that we're using now. So it's been a big learning curve for a lot of teachers. And the academic piece is a lot more robust this time, but I would say our biggest focus right now is really the social emotional learning with students. A lot of students have been isolated for many months now and are just, I see it in my Zoom classes every day. Kids they want to talk, they want to share, they want to have that connection with their peers. And so we have 30 minutes of required social emotional learning time every day, and building those relationships with kids is our biggest priority right now. But like I said, the community really was pushing for us to do more robust learning during this time. And so we have tried to figure out how to basically make a normal situation for the kids in an unnormal time. So we are trying to basically recreate a normal school day for kids online, which has a lot of challenges to it. It's a lot of screen time for kids. My workload has doubled overnight. I have more work on my plate than I did as a first-year teacher, having to recreate, all these lessons. Basically, we're building, the plane as we fly it, and having to figure out how to add a technology piece to everything and make everything virtual and also accessible and equitable as much as possible for all students. And then we have to learn the technology and also be tech support for students and families for a lot of these things that we just learned ourselves, a couple of days beforehand. It's been very challenging. not every student has the same level of support at home. And so trying to find ways to be equitable to all of our students is something that we talk about daily. There's some students who have a parent that sits with them right there the whole day and can offer support for them, whereas another student is trying to do all of this independently. And we can't reach through the screen and see what they see to help them out. So yeah, my focus right now has really just been, how can I keep my students engaged with the learning? Because it's a long day for little ones to be on a screen. So trying to find ways to really keep them engaged. I want them to keep learning. I don't want them to lose their love of learning throughout this whole pandemic. And, but also providing an outlet for them to be able to get some kind of social interaction and feel like they are connected to the world still. Yeah, we have a tough road ahead, and we're trying to make the best of it that we can, but it is exhausting. It's exhausting for teachers. It's exhausting for students because they're not used to having to sit there and be so focused all day. And then families are also feeling a lot of stress right now, because of the current climate and the pandemic, and trying to now juggle school and work and their home lives. Has been very stressful for everybody. So right now, our biggest priority is just really taking care of our students and their families and being a level of support for them.